News Radio WAM 1180 welcomes you to the Seniors Rock Show. The Seniors Rock Show, a lively weekly discussion shedding a bright light on aging with fun, entertainment, and important info for all adults. Join us with your comments or questions. Call or text 222-1180 or 1-800-295-1180. Now, from the News Radio WAM 1180 studios in downtown Rochester, here's your host, Joanna Palvino.
Well, welcome to Seniors Rock Radio and to our live show right here from the Krossber Brothers Soak and Save event. And Pam, whoops, she's sleeping at the wheel there. Anyway, I'm here with estate planning attorney Mike Robinson, and I are broadcasting live from this huge event. It's at the Canandaigua Civic Center, and we'll be here for the next hour. So we hope you'll stay with us and you'll listen, or better yet, come on down because we're going to be at this event. You could stay all the way till 5 o'clock, even if we're off the air, and you can come back tomorrow if you'd like from 10 to 5. We're going to have a lot of fun, and you and your entire family will too. So I hope you'll join us either on the air now and then come on down. Mike, I have been checking out over 50 different spas here, and I know you're watching and looking at them with me. And there's also a cold plunge unit that's on display, which is pretty cool. It's the one with the white tops over there. And with this, these cold plunges, this unit that's here today comes with a challenge to all people from the Krossber family. It's the Cold Plunge Challenge, and that comes with big savings for those that dare to dunk. And I'm going to tell you more about that in a few minutes, so stay tuned. Krossber Brothers are a local family-owned pool and spa store in Farmington, New York. If you don't know who they are, they've been on several times, and they're really enthusiastic about what they do, and they're proud that they've been bringing families together through the joy of pool and spa ownership since I think it was like 2009. So lots of years. And Mike, we've learned a lot about the many health benefits of spas from Mike Krossber. He's been on the show telling us about that. And I'm glad that you're here today, Mike Robinson, to share in the excitement. I was here last year, and I see that you're enjoying the spas yourself.
Yeah, hey, happy Saturday, Joanna. And I was not here last year, and I have to say, I am amazed. I had no idea there were this many different kinds of spas, spas that are, I don't know, it looks like they could fit 8 or more people. Some are single or double units, just all kinds of different features. It's amazing. And the other thing that's amazing is the barbecue. Folks, you come on down, and in addition to checking out the spas, get some great barbecue. What is it? It's pecan apple smoked. Is that?
It's apple pecan smoked baby back ribs. They've got mango coleslaw. They've got chicken and some other unbelievable dishes. And I see some right here on the table, Mike. Are you going to start taking a little taste? This is from C&B Roasters. That's the food truck that's here. So come on down. I guess last year they sold out after a couple hours because they are so good. But we have lots extra this year. So check it out. You going to try it, Mike?
Absolutely. Got to do some quality control. Make sure that our listeners are going to be well taken care of. But yeah, folks, you got to come on down and look at what is here. It's absolutely amazing.
And you can look at all the spas. You can even take the cold plunge challenge that we're going to talk about in a minute. And the owner of the cold plunge units are here with us, and he's going to join us after the break. You are going to be pretty amazed at some of the health benefits of the cold plunge units. And I know Mike has a friend that's been doing it for years, and I understand it goes back all the way to like Roman days.
He doesn't go all the way back to Roman days, but yeah, sure, you're correct. The soaking certainly does the cold soak. So yeah, and it's interesting. We were talking earlier with Jim Walls, and he's going to talk to us in a little bit. We have talked about the benefits of soaking in hot water, but the benefits of soaking in cold water are just as good, and perhaps even more so. So interesting information. And as we age, we all start to have those aches and pains and whatnot. So I'm always interested in hearing more about what what we can do to ease those aches and pains and speed recovery if we're working out or exercising in any way.
Yeah, and you don't need a lot of room for these things. I mean, there are gigantic ones here too. I see one there that's for how many people? 8, I think. It goes from 8 people all the way down to a two-man spa. And these plug and play ones are really cool because you don't need a lot of room, Mike. You can actually plug them in any outlet. You can put them in a garage. You can put them on a patio. There's lots of ways to use these plug and play spas. And again, the cold plunges here. This is new this year. And it's really exciting. I see the trucks back there. I see people milling around. Oh, this is what is it? It's not can jam. It is called cornhole. They're playing cornhole, and there's some snacks, the food truck, lots of good stuff to see. Bring the family on down. It's a gorgeous day. I hope you will jump in the car and take a ride down. I saw a fox coming in here, and I'm telling you, it was staring at the balloons because there were all these colored balloons out there by the walkway. And I wasn't afraid at all. It was adorable, and it went behind a big rock and just kind of peeked out at us.
Yeah, I went back out looking for the fox after you told me about it, but could not find it. Somebody must have told it I was coming.
Well, I would like to celebrate a little bit, Pam, and I'd like to do a giveaway. So I'm going to challenge the listeners. We have a cold plunge challenge coming up here soon, but I'm going to challenge the listeners now to call. And if you are the third caller, you could win a prize. And the prize is going to be a 4-pack to a Red Wings game in August. So come on down or call now, 585-507. Oh, nope, that's in my number. 222-1180. Whoops, sorry. Pam's laughing over there. It is 585-222-1180. Don't call me, call Pam. She'll take your information and we'll send you those tickets. The third caller is going to get them. And we're going to be doing that in the next hour. Again, we've got several prizes. Thank you to the iHeart folks. And you could win if you come down to the event here at the Canandaigua Civic Center, or stay tuned and call. And there's that phone ringing over there. Mike, do you like going in water? I mean, do you go swimming a lot?
I love to be in the water. I don't do it a lot only because I don't have a lot of opportunities. But whenever I get out west, I always, to see the kids, I always make sure I get in the ocean and talk about a cold plunge. That Pacific, it's pretty chilly, especially in the mornings. But as we're going to hear about from Jim in a little bit, it definitely sets a tone for your day. And as much as it might be unpleasant for the few moments you're in, it makes a big difference and you feel great afterwards.
That's for sure. And we live by the lake. And hey, sometimes it is too cold to go in, and sometimes it's just a little rough. But we are going to be talking all about the benefits of health to your health about with water. I can't talk here this morning, but we're going to talk about that throughout the next hour. You're going to be surprised, I think. Either way you go, with a regular spa or with a cold plunge, there's lots of good stuff coming down the pike. And if you just tuned in, we are broadcasting live from the Krossber Brothers annual Soak and Save Spa event. And we're partying down here at the Canandaigua Civic Center. There's a food truck, there's lots of fun and prizes. And oh, there are tons of spas to check out. So come on down. And Mike, are you going to be going and looking at all the spas here on our break?
I certainly am. I've already been checking out a few of them. I'm going to get out and look at a few more. And you're right, there are so many options, and the plug and plays, those, when we first heard about them when Mike was on the show a little while ago, um, it intrigued me. And it's just, folks, you literally you plug it into your standard household outlet, and that's all. No special electrical changes needed. And I believe, Joanna, we have a winner of the 4-pack to the Red Wings game.
Yeah, congratulations to Rick Orlando, and we'll be sending you those tickets, Rick. Thank you for listening, and folks, continue to listen because we've got more prizes. And if you're in the room here, we've got a lot of people walking around. We have prizes for you too. So get in your car, enjoy the weather, take a ride down to Canandaigua, the Civic Center. We are right here waiting for you. There's a food truck. You can have lunch. You can enjoy yourselves. You might even see the little fox outside. So And kids are welcome, by the way. Mike Krossber, one of the owners, he has 4 children. They're adorable. They're going to be here having some fun. So come on down. There's ice cream. There's all kinds of good stuff. I see balloons everywhere too. It's very festive. And we're broadcasting live, as I said, from the Soak and Save Spa event of the century for the next hour. But the happenings here don't end then. They'll go right through tomorrow, Sunday at 5. So you've got time. And today or tomorrow, put this on your things to do this weekend. It's a seriously good time with seriously good savings too. We haven't talked about that. There's some really good discounts. There's some really good deals. I think it's a 60-month uh, finance-free thing that you can do, and you are going to see the best and biggest spas, and you can save too. So come on down. It's spectacular, and we are going to be here on Seniors Rock Radio waiting for you if you come in the next hour or two. And if you don't, the Krossber family will be here waiting for you, and you're going to enjoy it. Oh, I see some more kids coming in. Mike, you ready to go to break?
Absolutely. And folks, stay tuned. We're going to be back with more from the Krossber Brothers annual Soak and Save Spa event right here on Wham 1180 and Seniors Rock. And welcome back to Seniors Rock Radio, where we're broadcasting live from the Krossber Brothers annual Soak and Save Spa event and party at the Canandaigua Civic Center, going on today and tomorrow until 5 o'clock. There's so many spas on display here. Joanna, I had no idea there were so many types. I'm learning about free flow spas, plug and play spas, saltwater spas, even smart spas.
Yeah, and you know what? It's amazing. Soaking in a spa for just 20 minutes can help relieve stress and anxiety, right? We learned that. And you get relaxed for a better night's sleep, or even you can even get in a spa in the morning. I know some of the Krossber guys before they go to work jump in the spa for their 20-minute soak with their coffee. Get get the day going. Get my mouth going. Anyway, I'm really excited about the buzz that everybody's been listening to about getting into a tub of cold water. So if you're listening and you're curious about doing a cold plunge this weekend, it could be your lucky chance. The Krossbers have a full cold plunge unit here on display, and they're offering a cool cash incentive to get you in one of your own. You're invited to take the cold plunge challenge. For every minute you soak in the cold water side of the dual plunge display, you save $25 off a new ideal solo or dual plunge. And then you hop over into the warm plunge side, the spa side. You get your heat back and you get some hot savings too. So stay in up to 20 minutes if you can. That's the challenge. And you could get up to $500 off. And I think that is really awesome. Mike?
Yeah, that is a great idea. And Joanna, cold plunges, they're also known as cold water immersion, can have several significant health benefits as well. And right now, Jim Walls of Ideal Brands is going to tell us about that. Jim, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. So there's a lot of people that when you hear about cold water therapy, you go, I don't like the cold water therapy. I don't like being, cold. And it's one of those things that you've got to start being comfortable with being uncomfortable. And once you get over that, there's several different benefits. One, just the physical benefits, which we can talk more about based on how much time we have. But the other is the mental side of it. And what a lot of people don't know is you start getting the true benefits of cold water therapy at 59 degrees and below. So as long as you're at 59 degrees, you're going to get the benefits. Now, I know some people will say, well, I like getting in 35-degree water or 40-degree water. There's actually no physical benefits beyond 59. And it's actually more important to have more time in the water than a colder temperature to truly build up your tolerance.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Go ahead.
If you just tuned in, we're talking to Jim Wall, and he is with Ideal Spas or Cold Plunge. What do you say, Ideal? What's the name?
It's Ideal Brands, but the products we're talking about today are the Ideal Spa Plunges.
Okay. What else do you have?
So a lot of people, they want to know about the physical benefits of cold water therapy. And there's two different things. One, we can talk about contrast therapy, where you're going, like you had mentioned, going from hot to cold, hot to cold. So that's contrast therapy of going back from, extremes in temperatures. And then there's also what's called stacking. So stacking is that back and forth, or just the contrast therapy where you're doing it once. And one thing that we recommend is that you start with the hot water or maybe a hot sauna, and then you go into the cold water. And then if you're going to do the stacking and going back and forth, it's recommended most to finish in cold and let your body naturally go up to its normal temperature.
So are there specific instructions when you have one of these? For example, you're exercising, so this is what you should do and for how long?
That's a great question. So when you're in cold water therapy, we recommend that you're in there for about 3 minutes. So most people are in there for 3 to 5 minutes at a shot. Again, it's not something that is enjoyable or relaxing like hot water therapy. It's miserable for 3 to 5 minutes. But if you want to have better breathing, you actually need to learn to control your breathing. And the shock factor really just happens in the first minute. So once you get past the first minute, your body becomes numb and you can stay in there for longer periods of time.
Wow, that's really interesting. And we're talking to Jim Walls, and he knows all about these cold plunges. He's here today at the Soak and Spas event at the Canandaigua Civic Center. I hope you'll join us. Now, these cold spas, I understand, can reduce inflammation. They help with muscle damage after exercise. They improve your mood, like you said, and possibly long term mental health benefits too. That's pretty cool. They can reduce anxiety and depression. Is that right?
That's correct. So when you look at that and you look at the dopamine levels that are released from cold water therapy, there's far greater benefits for cold water therapy than there is to hot water therapy or even saunas. The dopamine levels that you receive from being in cold water therapy last up to 2 hours, which is greater than any other form of therapy.
And that, of course, is going to help you focus and sleep better, I understand.
It really does. So yesterday I was in there just to prove the point that you can be in there for 20 minutes, no problem. I was in there for a little over 20. It's about 23 minutes yesterday. I could have gone longer, but you don't really need to go crazy with it. And I slept great last night.
Well, I'm glad you did, and I think everybody that does a cold plunge is gonna do that. So you're hearing some great stuff here today, folks. Come on down. We're broadcasting live from the Soak and Save Spa event. Thank you very much, Jim. He'll be here for the rest of the day and tomorrow too, right?
That's correct.
And that this is like the spa event of the century. So we're here for the next hour, but the happenings don't end. As I said, come on down. It's a seriously good time, seriously good savings. You are not going to believe the number of spas here and the food stuff. It's really good. And you can play some games, have some fun, maybe win a prize. Stay right here on News Radio, Wham 1180 and Seniors Rock Radio.
But before we go to break, I got another question for Jim. Oh, all
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I thought she was telling us to wrap it up. She's going like this.
right. All right. So we're good. So, Jim, live radio, folks, you got to love it. So, I always have been under the impression after a hard workout, strenuous activity, coming in and doing a hot soak, maybe even with some Epsom salts or something. But I'm starting to get the impression that maybe the cold soak could be even more advantageous.
It actually is. So when you look at hot water therapy, that's about relaxing. Hot tubs are great for relaxing. But if you're trying to give and have true therapy and recovery, you're exactly right. Doing the cold plunge, and again, being in there for 3 to 5 minutes, it's easier than you believe it to be, and it actually becomes more enjoyable. Like I started saying at the very beginning, you've got to become comfortable with being uncomfortable to be stronger. As you exercise, you're putting your body in stress, you become stronger. Cold plunging is no different than that.
Okay, I have to ask you this question because a lot of us are older here and listeners. What about, I mean, you can't, there's no chance you're going to like shock your heart, when you jump into this cold water. I mean, is there any danger?
So we would always tell you to ask your doctor. I'm not a doctor, and I would recommend that. So again, going back to building up your tolerance, being time is more important than temperature. So for you want to get started and you want to start at 90 degrees, the neat thing with our cold plunge is they literally go from 41 degrees to 104. So if at any point in time you go, you know what, I don't want to do this cold thing anymore, you can actually make it a hot plunge. So if you were to start out with, say, 90 degrees and then maybe go down to 85 and then 80, just build up your tolerance to where you're comfortable.
Excellent. Folks, we're going to go to break now, but we will be right back from the Soak and Sail Krossber Brothers event at the Canandaigua Civic Center. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Seniors Rock Radio. I am Joanna Pelvino, your host. I'm here with estate planning attorney Michael Robinson, and we have a guest with us here at the Soak and Save event. Thank you, Jim. That was Jim Walls. He's with Ideal Brands, and they're here with their cold plunge unit, which is a dual unit, right? I mean, there's a single and a dual. Tell us the difference between those.
Yeah, so we have what's what we call the solo, which is a single cold plunge. The single cold plunge can actually go anywhere from 41 degrees to 104. So if for some reason, you don't want to be super cold, you can actually be super hot if you want to. But you do want to, again, build up your tolerance based on what we talked about earlier. And you can start off with whatever temperature you're comfortable with and then slowly go down. And it's more important to have more time than it is to have a lower temperature to build up that tolerance.
And I was telling Joanna earlier, I've got a good friend who's been doing cold immersion for about 40 years now, and he absolutely swears by it. And I'm just interested too. You talked a little bit before, we talked about the physical benefits, but the mental benefits and the release of dopamine. Can you go into that a little bit more? Because I find that pretty fascinating.
Yeah, so that's the reason why somebody would do something lower than 59 degrees. So at 59 degrees, that's when you start getting the physical benefits. The mental benefits happen when you continue to go colder and colder, because mentally getting in, 45-degree water or 40-degree water is completely in your head. So, and to your point, the releasing of the dopamine lasting over 2 hours, it's something that people literally get addicted to using cold water therapy.
Well, addicted sounds kind of scary, but in this case, it's a good thing, right? I mean, if you do these things on a regular basis, it sounds like you get a lot of really wonderful health benefits. And I'm looking around here and I see people smiling, and I can imagine when you're in that tub or once you get out, you're smiling is when you're talking about the cold plunge. But but either way, it sounds like wonderful, wonderful therapy. We've got all kinds of spas here. I don't even know how many there are. There's too many to count, but we've got the cold plunge solo and dual unit. We've got all kinds of spas from an 8-person spa down to, I think, a 1-person. And there are games, there's ice cream, and there's a food truck. What is holding you back? Come on down to this Canandaigua Civic Center and join us, will you? And Jim, how many of these things do you, I don't want to ask you about your sales, I guess, but is it getting more popular? I guess I'll ask you that since you started. When did you start this?
So great question. So it is definitely getting more popular, and it's really become more popular over the last couple of years. More people are talking about it. More people are being able to experience. As a matter of fact, last week I was up in Canada, and I jumped into Lake Louise, which is a glacier fed, and it's quite experience. But we even stayed at a hotel. That hotels are setting up an entire area specific to this therapy, where we literally went from sauna to cold plunge to a hot tub to a steam bath to back to a cold plunge. It was an entire outdoor area simply to be able to get the benefits of outdoor experiences and cold water therapy.
Yeah, and all involving water.
All involving water. It was a great experience.
So on the cold water plunge, I was just remembering I went with my son's scout troop on a rafting trip in Letchworth, and there's a spot there. I forget what they call it, but it's a hole and if I remember, it's about 35 degrees, and there's a couple of guys on either side. You go down, you bob up, and they grab you, so that you don't just go back down again. Um, and that, at the time I thought, my gosh, that's who does this? But you're right. The last few years, it seems to be going mainstream.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was waiting
Oh,
for you. Go
okay,
ahead.
gotcha. Yeah, so it's more of a challenge. So I think the reason why it's going more mainstream is it's another new thing to be able to challenge yourself. And I look at cold water therapy no different than any other exercise. You are putting your body in stress. Anytime you put your body in stress, you become stronger. And the average person stays in cold water, 3 to 5 minutes. So even though I did it for a little over 20 minutes, I've built up my tolerance to be able to
Right.
have my body accept that. And mentally, to your point, is to get over the fact that I need to get out of this water. And it comes down to that first minute. You get beyond the first minute, you've got it.
So you're saying that once you sit in that for a minute, you start to kind of get numb and then you don't feel it anymore?
That's correct. And it's that first minute you're trying to control your breathing. So that's another one of those physical benefits is having that breath control. And when you do that, now when you get out, you now know how to control your breath a lot easier.
Yeah, because I'm seeing a little gasp when you first get in. That probably happens, huh?
For sure. And there's 3 different levels to getting in that water. So the first goal is to get your heart below the water level. The second is once you're in there for, let's say 2 to 3 minutes, at that point you want to open up your body, because when you get in cold water, you want to curl up in a ball. And so to get the cold water closer or to more arteries, you would then open up your legs, open up your arms, and expose your arteries. And you're going to feel that, that whole breath thing again. You've got to get it under control. And then level 3 is getting your neck below water level. So even though you're dealing with the difference in temperature and building up your tolerances, there's those 3 different levels to work up to ultimately get your neck underwater.
So I'm thinking too about, when my kids were little, they didn't have a problem with this. They'd go in the water until their lips were blue, right? They'd be in there for forever. So maybe we just have to think back to earlier years as we get in the cold water.
Yeah, and I'm going to go back to what he's saying about, that, maybe being a little uncomfortable. And I know that lately, a lot of my friends, as we get older now, we're talking about, this building strength and building muscle and doing these things. So this goes with that complementary, to help you out with all of that, I guess, with your muscles. So if it is a little sore, you get in the cold plunge, you go in the spa. It's like I'm feeling like it's a day at the spa if you do all these things.
I agree with you. It really becomes enjoyable, and I look forward, believe it or not, to getting in cold water.
Do you do it every day, Jim?
I don't use it every day. So just like any other exercise, if you were to go run every day, half marathon, you're going to wear your body out. So look at it the same way. You're trying to improve your body. It is an exercise. It is a stress on your body. You don't want to do it every day.
Wow. Tell the folks where they can find you if they want to get more info or have a chat with you.
Yeah. So obviously I'm here both today and tomorrow. But if you want to look online, you can look on Krossber Brothers website. Our website is idealwatercare.com, and you'll see the 2 different plunges. To answer a little more question, or your question from earlier, is we do make our plunges suitable. Our experience comes from using cold water therapy, and one of the things that we do is all of our units are 30 inches tall. The reason why we do 30 inches tall is really for your safety. And when you're in cold water therapy and you're getting out, now your legs don't want to work. And so by being 30 inches, you're able to kick your legs over and you're on solid ground.
Awesome. Jim Walls of Ideal Brands, thanks so much for the great information. And folks, stay with us for more Seniors Rock Radio while we wrap up our live broadcast here from the Canandaigua Civic Center, this weekend's location for the Krossber Brothers annual Soak and Save Spa event. Grab a friend, some kids, come on down till 5 today and 10 till 5 tomorrow.
You're on. Welcome back to Seniors Rock Radio, and we are at the Canandaigua Civic Center doing a live remote here at the Soak and Save event for Krossber Brothers. And we've been talking a lot about water. And you know what? Drinking water is another way we use water to be healthy, right, Mike? And it seems there's always an emphasis on drinking water. Shouldn't we also be thinking about the air we're breathing too? That's what we figured. And John and I said that, and we thought, why don't we get our ducts cleaned by indoor air professionals? So that's what we did after some research. And one duct cleaning later, we realized we should have done it a lot sooner. And indoor air pros are the best. And our friend Peter Gordon there at Indoor Air, he is a air quality specialist. And he told me that we weren't the only ones that were waiting and that, regretted doing that. And when people call indoor air professionals, a common theme is, I've been meaning to call for months or years. So don't be that guy or gal. Today's the day to call. You'll get cleaner air and save $175 if it's your first air duct cleaning from Indoor Air. $175 off is a great offer and one more reason not to wait. And there's discounts on dehumidifiers and air purifiers too. You, your family, and your pets deserve less allergens, less dust. You deserve to breathe better and sleep better. So don't ignore your indoor air anymore. Call Peter today, even right now. It's 585-427-8020. That's 585-427-8020. Peter is waiting. Go ahead, get your clean air today. Mike, this has been really fun today. We're going to stay for a while. I know I'm going out to that food truck to get some of those ribs and some of that chicken and mango stuff. I don't know. Everything on the menu is making me hungry. So I'm glad you were here. How about it?
Yes, and I highly recommend the ribs. I tried them during one of the breaks, and pretty yummy stuff. And folks, come on down. There's not only are there, I don't know how many different spa units you can look at, but the folks here from Krossber Brothers are extremely knowledgeable and helpful. They're not going to bother you, but if you have questions, they're happy to go into questions regarding maintenance, installation, how you use the spas, etc. They'll even let you sit in the spas. You don't even have to have a swimsuit because there's no water in them. But you can get in there and kind of see how it feels and if it's going to be comfortable. So, and I was thinking, Joanna, too, it's such a gorgeous day. You come down here, you spend some time, and then we've got the Canandaigua Waterfront Arts Festival going on this weekend. What a spectacular weekend for that. Hopefully they got Kershaw cleaned up after the storm last week. But Deanne's daughter has a booth there, and Kelly and I have bought some of her artwork, and I know you've seen it. Yep, Jess does some great work. So definitely if you get a chance, get on down and check that out as well.
And I am looking forward to doing that too. And it's a beautiful area, all in all. And wherever you are in this area, in this beautiful Rochester area or Finger Lakes, come on down today or tomorrow to the Canandaigua Civic Center. You won't be sorry. It is a beautiful time. And as Mike said, you can also go to the Arts Festival, but definitely stop in here and learn more about water therapy and all the great benefits that you get from it. And I know I was quite shocked at some of the things that you can get from soaking in water, Mike. And what stood out in your mind?
Well, I mean, we've been hearing about the benefits of the hot water therapy and whatnot, but what really struck me was Jim talking about the benefits of the cold water therapy. And I think we've all heard about. Many of us have done the sauna and then go out and jump in the snow kind of thing, or sauna and do a cold plunge, something like that. But I've certainly never done anything like that on a regular basis. And just hearing about the physical and mental benefits of that sort of a regimen, that was the biggest eye opener for me.
Yeah, and I like the thought, that you take your time and in the way he explained it, you get used to doing it. You don't have to jump in and stay in it for 20 minutes. We're kidding around here today because there is a cold plunge challenge happening. And a couple of people were here doing it yesterday. We're still waiting for someone to come on down and do it today. But for every minute you soak in the cold water on the dual plunge, you get $25 off a new solo or dual plunge unit. So, hop on over and take the spa plunge side and or jump into the other side. I'm sorry, into the warmer side there, and you can warm up and then you get those savings too. So if you stay in for 20 minutes, it's $500 off. I don't know that you're going to do that, but for every minute you're getting some money. So check it out. And again, some of the benefits, the health benefits, reducing muscle damage after exercise, you get an improved mood, possibly long-term mental health benefits such as reduced anxiety and depression. All of those things are really impressive. And, you know, it also boosts your metabolism. And who can't use that as you're aging, right? It helps your focus and even helps you to sleep better. And it looks like we've got a caller here. It says, give the address of the Civic Center. Oh, okay. Got that, Mike?
It's on North Road in Canandaigua. It's 250 North Bloomfield Road. Yeah. And there's lots of signs out directing you where to park. And so 250 North Bloomfield Road in Canandaigua, easy to get to.
Thank you. Yeah, and there's a lot of little signs. The Krossber family is very diligent in making sure you know where they are, and there's signs all along the highway and then around the corner. And there is some construction next to the building, but you can come on in. Don't worry about that. And you'll see some balloons. And again, we saw a little fox out there this morning, and he was quite fascinated by the balloons. They're quite pretty. I could see why he was looking at them. So I hope that you folks are enjoying your weekend. And Mike, we got a couple minutes left. Do you want to wrap it up?
Sure. Again, folks, thanks for spending an hour with us on your Saturday morning. Have a great weekend. Be well and be kind.
Join us next week, folks. We'll be here for another hour at 11, and Scott Fitzgerald, owner of Rockbox Recording, is going to be here. We're going to be talking about podcasts. So reach out to us at seniorsrockradio.com anytime. Check out our past shows, see our sponsors, check out their links, and please, we encourage you to check them first when you're looking for goods or services, because they're all caring companies, just like the Krossber brother family, local, family owned, and they all agree with me that seniors rock.